Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're working on my 2019 BMW X5 and we're going to be installing a module that makes it so every time I turn my brights on, the laser beam is activated.
It's a sophisticated heat beam which we called a laser.
As you can see, these are BMW laser headlights. It's got the marking here and it's got the warning on the inside there. But these rarely ever turn on. You gotta be going above a certain speed and there can't be any lights around you or cars around you before they'll turn on. So I found through AliExpress a module that makes it so every time I activate the high beams by clicking the stock forward, it activates the laser lights. When I flash my high beams, the lasers aren't activated, so you can still safely flash your high beams without worrying about blinding oncoming traffic. But when the high beams are fully activated, the laser lights will also be activated. Keep in mind where I live, there's not a lot of super dark roads or dark areas. So this is going to be more useful if you live out in the country. Or the other thing is, if you have Euro spec headlights, the laser beams are going to be almost double the strength as they will be if you live in the United States. The United States headlight is a completely different headlight than the ones that are in Euro spec. So you can't really code these headlights to be brighter. You'd have to actually change out the whole entire headlight to get the brightness that's in the Euro models, but we can at least activate the lasers. If you live in Europe, then this mod would actually be really cool for you because you can get some very bright lights and you can control when they're on and off. For me, it's not as necessary, but if I have the laser lights, I want it to be activated. So I definitely wanted to do this modification. So we're gonna go ahead and install this. I'll show you all the details for installing, and then we'll go do some driving at night.
Disclaimer: the content in this video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. I am not a certified automotive technician, and the information provided should not be considered professional advice. Working on the electronics of a BMW X5 or any vehicle can be complex and may lead to damage, personal injury, or other unintended consequences if done incorrectly. By choosing to follow any procedures or modifications shown in this video, you assume full responsibility for the outcomes, including any damage to your vehicle or equipment. Always consult your vehicle's manual and consider hiring a certified professional for any work you are not fully qualified or comfortable performing. I disclaim any and all liability for damages, injuries, or losses resulting from the use or misuse of the information in this video. Proceed at your own risk and always prioritize safety.
One of the first steps is going to be to unplug both batteries. So I'm going to open up the hood, and then I'm also going to open up the back hatch. And I want to make sure the back hatch doesn't close after unplugging the battery. Because the front battery is still connected, this latch can still close fully. So I'm going to make sure it doesn't fully close down by putting these towels right here. And then we can open up the hood, pulling this twice. I'm going to remove this cover, and we will disconnect the negative cable of this battery also. This is a 13mm socket. The rear battery is a 10mm socket. In this battery, it looks like this nut has to come off all the way. I'm going to take it right to the off. And then now officially there should be no power to the car. And you can even check the horn and there is zero power. So here's everything that comes inside this kit. It's got the module, BMW G platform. Comes with a few extra plugs. And then here is the wiring harness. And then once you purchase it, there are instructions that you can download. So we'll see how easy this all is to install. Hopefully it's not too bad. The next step is going to be to remove this panel and this panel down here. For this top panel, you can grab right here and start to pry it out. And it comes right out. And then this panel we'll remove next. First we'll take out the floor mat to make it a little bit easier. So you can remove this part first by prying it up, and then there is going to be this little Torx, it's a plastic clip actually. So remove that, and then you pull this piece towards the center of the vehicle, because you can see there are two clips on the side here. So that means you pull it inward towards the center of the vehicle. Inside here are going to be these two plugs. We're going to switch over to the cell phone so we can get a little bit more details in the video. So these are the two plugs we're going to be tapping into. This is the 2B plug right here, and this is the 3B plug right here. You're going to first remove the 2B plug, little pry things on the sides, and it'll come right out. I'm going to remove the second plug also, just to give me some more working space. And then you need to remove the gray plug from this clip. This part actually pries out of there. And the gray plug slides right out. I use a smaller tool later in the video, and I recommend removing both the gray piece and the black piece. It'll just make removing them easier from the main plug. Make sure you're being nice and careful. And then we're going to remove pin 21. It's the yellow-green wire from the gray plug, and insert the yellow wire from the module. So pin 21 is this last plug. So I can push down here to pull it out. Just like that, it comes out. And then in the module, there is the yellow plug right here. This is in the wiring harness. So I'll plug this in. Just make sure it's oriented the right way. Next, we're going to remove the yellow-gray wire. This is from plug number 20. Usually best to have a tiny bit of pressure pulling it out. Then once you push in the pin, it just wants to come all the way out. And then it says to insert the white wire from the module. Next, we need to remove the brown plug from this main 3B harness, and I recommend removing the brown and the blue plugs together. I might just remove both. I think it'll come out easier. Yep, just remove both because it comes out easier. And then from the brown plug, pin number 29, there's going to be a yellow and green wire. And then there's going to be pin 28, a yellow and gray wire. We're going to remove those from this plug. So on this back side here is 28 and 29, so we'll go ahead and remove both of those. Next, you'll take the green and blue wires from this main wiring harness, and you're going to use one of these male 4-pin connectors to plug this into. The order will be green, blue, green, blue. So green, blue, and then green. Make sure it's plugged in all the way. You'll hear the little snaps. And then blue. Next, we're going to prepare to connect these yellow and green and yellow and gray wires together in a plug. But first I want to cut back some of this wire cover right here. So carefully cut it back. Don't cut any of the wires. And we'll do the same on the other side. Now you can separate these wires a little bit more, and you can put them in a plug. So the way this plug needs to go together is like so. You can see it only fits in one way. And then the thing to remember is the orientation. This is blue, green, blue, green. Where there is green, that's where the yellow-green is going to connect to. And where there's gray, that's where the blue will connect to. Right here we've got the yellow-gray. So we'll fit that in. And then we've got the yellow-green, which you can see will connect with the green on this side. And then again over here with the other side, we'll do the yellow-gray first. And then we'll do the yellow-green. Do that little lock, and then these should go together just like that. Then you're going to be putting the harness back together. We'll put the gray part back in. And you can plug them back into their spots. Start to push it in, and then you close this little green piece here, and then it'll pull that plug together. Alright, now that we've got this all hooked up, we're going to plug the batteries back in, and then I need to figure out what to do with the power wires. So the last part of the installation is going to be power and ground wires. I already have the Wolfbox fuse connectors, so I'll show part of that video so you know what fuses to tap into to get your power cable. And I believe this would only need 12-volt battery. Yeah, it doesn't specify in the instructions, so I'm going to connect it to the accessory power, and then I'm going to connect it to the ground. So we'll see if that makes everything work perfectly. So again, from the Wolfbox wiring, I'm going to cut these 12-volt accessory power, and then from this plug, I want to actually use this plug here, so I'm going to cut off this little extension. That way I can plug this little short pigtail into the Wolfbox wiring, and then I can use this plug. So this is the power cable to the wire harness. And then this is the cable to the module. So now when I unlock it, the headlights turn on like normal. So now we just need to tuck all the wires away, and then we'll do some testing at night and see how it looks. And you can tuck all of your wires nicely, and then once you put back the kick panel, it'll keep everything nice and protected. First we'll reinstall this plate right here. You can reinstall this cover, and don't forget to plug in this light. And then you will reinstall this piece right here after putting this little plastic holder. Then you'll be done with the installation. And then you'll reinstall this piece, and you'll have to tuck it back behind this rubber piece right here. And then reinstall your floor mats. I'm going to be picking me up some 3W floor mats for this BMW. Can't wait for that. Should be a nice clean install. But for now, I'll put back my cheap Amazon floor mats. Alright, so you can see here, when I flash my high beams, the lasers don't turn on. But then when I turn on the actual high beams, you can see the center section right there. That little circle, we can see it flashing. That's the laser light. So there's the flashing of the high beams, and there's with the activation of the laser light. Here are the brights without the lasers on. And then you can see the two little dots It's like a brighter, more concentrated light. That is the difference. You can see they turn off slower too. So that's just the regular brights, and that is the laser lights. And the main difference is that this side piece turns on, where normally this part is not lit. So that's the laser on that far right side. So a little bit of a hotter section there. So again, here are just the regular brights, and here are the lasers. Regular brights, lasers. Okay, so here are just the regular headlights, and then here's with the laser lights. You can see that hotter beam in the center there. And here is another example of being farther away, the regular headlights, and then the laser light. We'll zoom in on it. Regular headlights, laser light. Laser light is on. We're just going to turn a little bit so you can see it. Laser light off. And yeah, it's just a lot brighter right in the center there. Alright, here again is the last example. This is a trash area. It is far away. So these were the regular headlights, and then this is the laser. So regular headlights, laser. Regular, laser. Regular, laser. And I parked even further away. Regular headlights, laser. You can see that laser light just really has a good beam, a good tight beam. Regular headlights, laser. Regular high beams, laser. And now I am very far away. These are the regular headlights. These are with the laser. Regular, laser. With the lasers on, if I move, you can see the lasers moving. And this is the high beams, and this is again with the lasers. So now I'm going to show you part of the Wolfbox installation video so you can see exactly which wires to tap into to wire this up. I was able to find 12 volt constant, and then also a 12 volt switched power. One thing that's important about this car, to find the 12 volt constant, leave this passenger door open, take like a screwdriver and lock this door. Then lock the car, put the key inside the house. That way the car can completely shut off. You gotta wait about 10 minutes for everything to actually shut off. And then you can go through and you can take your test light and you can test your fuses. Take my test light, make sure it's got a good ground, and then you can go through and test to see what fuses still have power when the battery is off. So a lot of these ones here still have power, but there was actually a blank spot right here that has power with the battery off, so then I plugged into it. So this would be the power to the battery, and then back here is going to be your accessory power. So once I turn the key on, this will turn on, and I believe this stays on for about 10 minutes after locking the car. So that'll be your accessory. Online, I found this very cool website that shows you the exact fuse. You can click on it and it will show you like details on it. So I used this blank one over here, number 27. And then the other one I used was this other blank one, 72. The green there, same with the green there. So that's the orientation of this fuse box. So it takes a minute to get kind of used to it, but 27 and 72 is the ones I used. All right, what did you guys think? They are fully installed and we are able to do a little bit of testing at night. If you found this video useful, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave a comment. Again, this video is for entertainment purposes only. If you do this modification, do it at your own risk. Look up your local laws to make sure you're allowed to do this. And that's why I say this video is for entertainment purposes only. So again, thanks for watching. Have a great day.